everybody, Chief and the Buff here, and today I'm going to show you some of the best loadouts for Halo 4 multiplayer wargames. So let's get started. As you can see here, I have two classes. I'll get into depth with both of them. Let's start with this one. Let's start with the primary. For this class I use the DMR. DMR is probably the best semi-auto rifle in the game. I believe there's three, not including the sniper rifles. It is equivalent to, I believe, it's slightly less powerful than the BR's 3 shots. If you land one headshot on someone with a DMR, it's just a little less powerful than 3 headshots by the BR. So it's all 3 shots, because the BR shoots in 3-round bursts. So it's probably one of the best for medium to long, and if you have enough skill, even short range gun battles. I definitely find use in it. The assault rifle, I've never really quite found any use for it. I mean, imagine if you're using it with the tactical package firepower, and you have it as a secondary, and you're in some close quarters situations. You can use it to get shields down for beatdowns. Secondary weapon, I always use the Magnum. I do not use plasma pistols or bolt shots, and even though they're not unlocked here, I've used them plenty of times in the campaign and picking them up throughout war games. Magnum, when you run out of ammo with the Magnum, it's very helpful to be able to pull it out really quickly and start unloading it on somebody, take their shields down. It's helped me many times. Grenades, as far as grenades go, I find the most helpful the frag grenade. For the last couple days, I've been pondering at what this pulse grenade is. It's kind of obvious given the name, but I'm a bit slow at this, apparently. And the pulse grenade is an EMP grenade. If you remember the grenade launcher from Halo Reach, how if you charged it, it would act as an EMP, and you could take down Banshees and any type of vehicle, really. And plasma grenades, you know, the reason I actually like using frag grenades is because they roll. If it wasn't for the roll, then I just use plasma grenades all the time, but the roll is really helpful for those old school Halo grenade jumping tactics for taking down the shields. Plasma grenades, they don't roll, they kind of just bounce once or twice when you lob them at the floor. Not very useful unless you're trying to stick somebody, or you've got some pretty good nade skills. Armor abilities, I've been using the hologram mainly for fun, because I've noticed what happens to me a lot. I fall for holograms all the time, and so when I use it, I'm not very good using the holograms. But what happens is in a gunfight, I'll get the guy's shields down. He'll go running. He'll go across the corner. I'll go chasing him. He hides in a corner, and then he sends his hologram. Keep running down the hall where I would think that he would be going. So I chase after him, trying to beat him down in the back, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he comes up behind me and assassinates me, and it's very embarrassing. Another one I recommend for this kind of class is Thruster Pack. I've gotten some use out of it. It's not the most helpful perk, but it's alright. I haven't gotten any use out of this Sentry or the regenerative fields. Jetpack's also a good one, as you haven't unlocked these ones. I'm not even going to get into it, but I've used them. And then Promethean Vision is a very helpful one. It helps you get out of some tricky situations, I'd say. And then tactical packages, these are the equivalent to Call of Duty's perks. I use Resupply, which is Scavenger, would be the equivalent to Scavenger for Call of Duty. Any of you Call of Duty fans out there who like to play Halo? It allows you to, as you can see, pick up grenades from fallen enemies, which is really helpful, because in all the other Halo games, grenades were pretty easy to come by. Now you really got to work from in Halo 4, which is more or less a good thing. But, you know, that's why the resupply thing's there, is to help you out. For the old school Halo fans who like to lob grenades everywhere like me. These ones I didn't even bother buying because they're pretty much useless. I mean, this is the only one that seems semi-useful, other than maybe resupply, and I just didn't find any use for it. If you got resupply, you shouldn't need this one. Support upgrades, as far as they go, they're all pretty much useless. Um, Ammo is probably the most helpful one, just based on my playstyle, because I get in a lot of situations in Halo 4 where, since this isn't a Call of Duty game, 1 or 2 bullets doesn't cut it for killing a person. So what happens is usually you'll get into a gunfight and you'll end up taking their shields down, and they'll hide, and you're halfway across the map, you're not getting up there to them in time. So they're going to end up getting their shields back, and you're going to get into a new gunfight with the same person over and over again. And it really takes down your, it really uses up all your ammo. So this is a way to not end up in the situation where you don't have any. I haven't really found any use for any of these other ones. I mean, ordnance priority would be good if you're playing any, Slayer type objective that isn't Slayer Pro. I play Slayer Pro a lot, so ordnance priority isn't useful because it only works for personal ordnance. Explosives seems somewhat helpful. I've used it a little bit. It's somewhat useful. It makes the grenades a little more effective, but not all too much. Awareness just allows you to look at your radar while you're scoped. Not too much use from that, just based on my playstyle. Same with sensors. I usually know where the enemy is before they're even on my radar to begin with, so I find that one kind of useless as well. Dexterity would be the equivalent to, I believe, sleight of hand from Call of Duty. Again, not very useful. Reloading times aren't that bad in this game unless you're talking about the saw or something like that, which I don't use. Only occasionally, but I find ammo to be the best. And then, of course, the most important thing for a class is naming it. Spartan Prime seemed appropriate. I couldn't really come up with a name, but it seems good, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. Moving on to our second class, since I already explained all the all the perks and everything, I don't really need to go into much detail. I'll just kind of explain myself here. The battle rifle is probably good. It's for closer quarter combat. If you're not as accurate, if you're not getting the person who's getting headshots every single shot, like I usually do, even though lately I've been sucking at it, but battle rifle, since it shoots 3 bullets, close quarters, it can be much more effective than the DMR. You might want to give it a try if you're not that accurate. So that's pretty good, and I pre-ordered it, so I got the cool camo. Jealous. Be jealous. Alright, and Magnum again, because, Magnum's great, all the other ones suck, unless you want to use the bolt shot as a shotgun, which is kind of hard to do. Plasma grenades, because this was intended to be a stealth class and I wanted to sneak up on people and stick them. That's also why I use Promethean Vision, which can really help you get out of some tricky situations when you're trapped in a corner. Same with mobility. That was for sneaking up on people and being able to get them in the back, just for fun. And sensor, just so, you could see him, I guess. But anyways, yeah, it helps. Alright, so I think that'll conclude our little video. Thanks for watching. Look at my sexy armor.